And welcome everybody to We Women Golf Talk Show. And today is week 2 of our Golf Science Show, the series called Let's Get Serious About Your Golf. Hi, I'm Charlene Thompson. I'm your host, and today we'll be diving into the very important and essential topic of club fitting for beginner female golfers. Joining me is Warren, a professional fitter from Golf Science. Let's get Warren in the studio. Hi, Warren. Welcome.
Hi, Charlene. Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for joining us today. A very important discussion that we need, something I think we neglect ourselves as female golfers. We begin somewhere, and I think we're going to go straight into the topic of discussing why club fitment is important. That is what you guys specialize in. That is what you're good at. And especially for women, I mean, we are new to golf, and we're kind of serious about improving our game. And maybe you could explain it a little bit to us. What does club fitting mean, and why does it particularly matter for beginners?
Yeah, I mean, looking at our discussion we had last week with you, beginners tend to feel intimidated by the game or feel intimidated playing around other golfers who they deem to be good golfers. But at the end of the day, all of us golfers are struggling with our game in some way or form. And it's no different being a beginner. It's just, it's sometimes just a little harder to get into the game. And one of the interesting stats in golf is that for every one beginner who's starting golf, there's one beginner leaving golf. And we have a very strong sort of belief in why that is. And that really comes down to equipment. Very, very few beginners start playing the game with clubs that are even close to suited to them. So they make it super hard for themselves just to get into the game. They go to a driving range and hit 30 balls and find one flies in the air. And that's super frustrating. Whereas if you went to a range and you hit balls and every second or third shot kind of flew down the range, it becomes a lot more enjoyable and you become hooked a lot quicker. And obviously there's so much variety in people's needs, how fast they swing, how they swing, the direction they hit the ball in. And so therefore, if you just take any stock set of golf clubs or your grandpa's old golf clubs, the chances of them, making it easy for you are pretty slim.
Absolutely. I always think of, I'm not the best chef in the kitchen. I can imagine a sushi chef taking a knife and he doesn't know what he's doing with the wrong knife. He's going to chop his fingers off and get frustrated. I always say, if I don't know how to control and use the right tool, I'm just going to stuff up sushi completely. But it's very true what you say. We go out there and a lot of us beginners, especially women, we think that, we should wait until we're a lot better at our game, golf, before we get ourselves fitted for clubs. I mean, is that a common misconception?
Very much so. It's one we've been trying to break for a long time. One of my first lines to a beginner is come and get fitted for one golf club, because we can build you a 7-iron or a 9-iron or one golf club that's the correct head design, correct shaft for you, correct length, correct lie angle. You can go test that on the driving range with zero sort of, intimidation of playing on a golf course. Just get used to hitting the ball. Take that for beginner lessons, learn how to grip the club properly, in good posture and all the things that are important in golf with a golf club that's going to make it easy for you to get the ball flying in the air. And if you do that, I think, the statistic I was referring to, one leaving, one starting, would probably be, one leaving for every 10 starting. And I think that's so important to grow the game of golf, but also just to grow the, ladies in golf as well, get more ladies playing golf, which is happening anyway, which is a great thing, but we'd love to speed that process up. And as you know, once you're hooked with golf, you never leave. But it takes a while to get hooked to golf. You've got to actually enjoy hitting the golf ball. And we all hit bad shots. That's just part of the game. But if you can get that percentage of good shots up from 1 in 10 to 3 or 4 or 5, it becomes a really fun game. And that's when you start challenging yourself.
Absolutely. And with the wrong equipment, it's just creating
No,
such a frustration for
it's
us.
almost impossible. Another common error that we encounter every day is just lie angle in an iron. People play standard lie angles, and we find golfers need anything from, say, 6 degrees upright to 2 degrees flat. Now, if you're a typical golfer who swings over the top, which is 9 out of 10 golfers, you're generally going to be needing an upright lie angle. And if you don't have that, it's almost impossible to make good contact with a golf ball lying on the grass. So, you thin shot after shot after shot, roll it along the ground, get frustrated. But actually, it's just the lie angle that's completely wrong for you, not you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I could see that lately. I've just changed my driver and I can see a major improvement, totally the wrong driver that I have. With a new driver I've got, it's just helping my fade. I'm reaching the fairways a lot more accurately. Just goes to show, it is just so valid what you're saying. Just another thing, Warren, when you're doing club fitments, how your approach, fitting clubs for women and men, how do you actually compare that? Are there really unique factors that you take into consideration when fitting female beginners?
So there's two sides to the story. The first one is, you get ladies' length and you get men's length. And we often joke about that. And we kind of, if we take a guy and a girl and they're both 6 foot tall and their wrists hang to the same position, how can the lady need a different length to the male? It doesn't make any sense. Or, for example, if your hand size is the same as your husband's, why should your grips be smaller than his? You have the same hand size. So there's some things that we just totally disregard. The golf club doesn't know whether you're male or female. But in general, obviously, women swing a bit slower on average. They will generate less spin. So there are factors that one takes into account. But the process is the same process. We look at your launch conditions. Do you struggle to get the ball up in the air? If you do, we need a high launch, high spinning iron design or a driver head design that's going to encourage that. If you have a massive slice like anybody, then there's things that we can do to reduce that and make it a manageable fade. At the end of the day, the generalizations are, obviously the clubs need to be the correct length for you. So if you're shorter than average, and obviously ladies on average are shorter than men, so naturally the golf clubs are going to be shorter. But you can't have a standard because everyone's different. You have different sizes, strengths, speeds. So one can't overgeneralize. And I think that's what mass manufacturer does. And we try and avoid that. We look at each person as an individual. Anatomically, how tall are you? How big are your hands? So then we start with hitting shots. Are you really good at striking the golf ball? Are you not that good at striking the golf ball? Obviously, being beginners, you generally aren't, and that's perfectly fine. And then we look at things like swing path and your angle of attack, and we understand that. And what's very interesting is most golfers think that if they hit a good shot and they hit a bad shot, the two golf swings are completely different. Whereas we actually show golfers in studio that what you did was very similar. The difference may have been 3 grooves lower, and you hit the ball thin, or something small, a face angle that's 3 degrees open versus the previous one was 3 degrees closed. The one is a big hook and the other one's a big fade. But how you achieve that, the club head speed, the path, your tempo, your transition, your release were actually all very similar. So what we're really saying to golfers is that even if you're a ranked beginner who's never played golf, there'll be enough consistency in how you do it for us to be able to determine, are you a low launch, low spin player? In other words, do you struggle to get the ball in the air? Or are you somebody who naturally strikes the ball really well with a lot of speed and gets the ball quite high, but it's erratic in terms of direction? And as we go down that process, we will, customize for each person. Hopefully that answers the question.
It does. So I've walked through your door, which I've done. But tell the viewers, and if anybody has a question watching for Warren, please put it in the comments below. We can ask Warren the questions that you have and see. I'm sure he'll be able to help and answer you. Walking through the door, what happens now? I'm walking in there and say, hi, I'm here. I have a problem.
I mean, to go one step back, we do work by appointment, and the reason why we do that is so that we can allocate an hour or 2 hours time that's dedicated to looking after your interests. Step number two would be greeting you and welcoming you, and people always feel intimidated, being scrutinized, and we make you feel comfortable as quickly as possible. We'll sit you down and then we go into our process. So the process really is, the first part of it is finding about who you are. How often do you play golf? How often do you practice? How serious are you about the game? Do you have coaching? What's your best score? What's your worst score? Have you had a hole in one? And we have a nice conversation, and it's all about understanding who you are as a golfer. The second part of the fitting really goes into measuring your equipment, your existing equipment, if you have some. And we like to do that as a baseline so that when we test, we can actually quantitatively show you the improvement that we can, get for you by changing a driver head or a shaft or whatever it may be. So we go into a measuring process. And once we've done that, we go into the testing process where we actually baseline you and we hit with your golf club. If you've never had a golf club before, we'll put something together for you that's suitable. We'll get a good understanding of who you are as a golfer in terms of your swing speed and your abilities and your shot shape patterns. And from there, we always like to take some time to explain all the decisions. So very, very important to me is that when you make a decision, you make an informed decision. There's no obligation to buy from us. So if you come in for a fitting and you choose the end of the fitting that you're not ready to buy or whatever, you may decide that's not a problem. But what we do guarantee is that you would have learned a ton about yourself as a golfer, what you're good at, what you're not good at. And there's always, even if you're a tour player, there's things that you're really good at and there's some things that you're not that good at. And you'll learn about that. You'll learn about what your needs are so that going forward, you can make a proper informed decision as to what's best for your game. And the second, third, fourth part about it is all about long term. We want to make sure that your success in golf, starts now immediately with the changes we make, but that you can continually improve as a golfer. And that's what makes golf fun, really.
That's true. You also use a lot of launch monitors and simulators. When I was there, how much of a role does that play in the fitting?
But yeah, I mean, there's two. The simulator is really just for you to be able to visually see what your shot shape's doing and to make it as real as possible. A lot of people say, well, is it accurate indoors? And we've done extensive testing in that area. It's incredibly accurate. It's actually far more accurate than you standing on a driving range and hitting a range ball and kind of getting a feel for how far it flew and what it did. We're getting a lot more accurate data and a lot more data indoors in a nice static environment where, if you top one or shank one, it really doesn't matter. We just have a delete button for that. So there's no pressure. We're looking at a trend of 5 to 10 good shots. And then the launch monitor's purpose really is to measure everything that the club does, but also everything that the ball does. We don't use every single variable because they measure hundreds, but all the key ones that we're looking at, we have a accuracy level of 99% plus. So it's a great environment to practice, but also a great environment just to test different products. Like for like situation. To give you one more analogy, people go to like a demo day at a range or somewhere and they'll hit a driver from one of the manufacturers and they'll go, wow, I hit that really well. But you hit it with a wind blowing, 30 Ks from your right. So everything you were slicing wasn't slicing. You were hitting range balls that don't spin properly. And you have no idea really what that ball would do on a golf course. And then you order the driver and 2 weeks later it doesn't work because the conditions are totally different and the spec of the driver is different. And, so we're trying to take away all those variables and have proper objective testing and with super accurate testing.
Yeah. No, I can agree with that. I mean, it's like, some days I get onto the golf course and everything just works. It's just your rhythm is in, everything is just going well. And then you're like, oh, it's my driver. It's like, but it wasn't fitted. It was just my lucky day.
Yeah.
So, once
these days you sync it all up and it all works, and then that's normal. That's golf. But the more consistent your equipment is, the fewer the bad days are. That's really what it's about, and the less bad they are.
Yeah, no, I can totally agree on that. Okay, so I'm walking in by Golf Science Fitment. For those viewers want to know where Golf Science Fitment facility is, the address is running on the ticker at the bottom. You could also email them at info@golfscience.co.za, go to the website, but they're quite easy to find at Unit 6 Highway Park, Northgate Estate, Brooklyn. And those who's watching want to ask a question for Warren, please, you're welcome to put it in the comments now. So I walk in there. We spoke a little bit about, newbies, beginners, feeling a little bit intimidated. What would you say, just in a very, very one sort of sentence, 2 sentences, why should I not feel intimidated? Because for women, we already feel intimidated going onto the golf course. Now we're walking in here with all these experts around us. What would be a comfortable explanation?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's normal. So, don't feel bad feeling like that. I mean, if any one of us go and see a doctor or a specialist, we feel nervous, for the first few minutes. But once you've hit the first ball, you'll relax. That's this other side of it. But we're there to help you. That's why we exist. We are there to help you play better golf, so that when you get onto the golf course where it really counts, you feel less intimidated on the golf course and more confident, and you play your best game. And I mean, it's even like playing with low handicappers. A lot of high handicapper beginners feel intimidated, and golf is a game about you and the golf course. At the end of the day, no one you're playing with really cares how you play. They just play. We all play. We all struggle with the game to some degree, and we're there to make the struggle less and to make it more fun. And very quickly, when we can show you how much you can improve, you'll go from feeling intimidated to ultra confident. The change happens really quickly, and that's what it's all about. There's people enjoying hitting really good shots and really achieving the most you can with your ability. And we all have different abilities. So yeah, I mean, a low handicapper feels intimidated playing with a tour player. It's the same for all of us, but yeah, it's a comfortable environment. It's relaxed, we take what we do seriously, but we like to crack jokes and have fun and enjoy the experience, and make sure we make decisions that are going to help you improve your game. That's really what it's all about for us.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. When I was there, it's fun. It's, I always say to myself, hey, you guys also had to start somewhere. I mean, the first time you hit a ball, it was also difficult, and you must probably missed it just as much. So,
well, there's one great truth in golf, and that is every kind of bad shot that exists, whether it be a freshie, a top, a shank, every golfer who's played golf has hit one of those at least. So nobody has not hit that shot. You're not the first.
Yeah, no, we've seen that on TV with the pros. Even they can 3-putt, 4-putts and hit freshies, and shake the ball straight into the water. Okay, we've got about 2 minutes left, Warren. Just to bring some re-encouragement and comfort to new golfers, especially women. Feel okay, I'm going to go there. I'm going to get this fitment. I'm walking in there with a 30 handicap. Are you going to, I think you might have mentioned it, but just to bring some clarity, you're going to fit me for the future and not just solve the problem now. So it's a long-term investment that I'm making on my handicap.
Yeah, we definitely look at a long-term view. There's new brand or new products, models coming out every year. It's not about that. It's about getting what's best for you so that you can use it for the next 5 to 10 years. Obviously, there are situations where you're a rank beginner. As I mentioned at the beginning of the talk show, I said, we can build you one club to learn golf with. And instead of buying the off-the-rack sort of a starter kit that's obviously terrible quality, you end up throwing that away after 6 months and starting again. You could invest in one golf club and build your setup over time. What's also really nice, if you go into a retail store, they generally have very few options for beginners. There's option 1, 2, and 3. They're all the same length, all sort of low quality product. What we do is we can work with any head and any shaft combination that exists really almost on the planet. So the selections and options that are available to you are vast. And that goes in different brands. It goes in different price points. We work with products that are really well priced. We work with the best of the best in the world that's expensive, and we work with everything in the middle. So you don't have to be worried about budget. You don't have to be worried about anything. It's just about working out what's right for you, and then looking at a plan of how we're going to help you play better golf over the next 5 to 10 years. And, like I said, it can be one club at a time. It could be a new driver. It could be a new set of irons. It could be a whole bag. It depends on what your needs are as an individual. So there's a vast, wide selection. We fitted 2 and 3 year olds. My oldest client fitted is 92. So the range of golfers we fit is everybody. We fitted golfers who are 70 handicaps, don't worry about 30. And people say, but how can you fit them? It's the exact same reasons why I said earlier. They have trends of how they hit the ball or how they don't hit the ball. We can make it easier for them to get the ball going forward and going up in the air and going straight. And immediately when they can do that consistently, they play better golf and they enjoy it more. So it really is fast.
I think that wraps it up for us. We're going to go into the next couple of weeks. We're going to delve in deeper on more technical information, and you guys are going to share a lot more with us. So we've just we've just touched the surface. We've just teed off for the show, being the second one. We're going to do a complete Back to the Clubhouse series. With golf signs, Fitment centers. You can see there where they are situated on the bottom of these sticker banners. And once we get back into the clubhouse, we're going to tee off again, and we're going to go right round again. There's so much we can discuss. So thank you very much, Warren, for your time. I know you guys are exceptionally busy, and thank you for sharing this with our viewers. This is valuable information to try and take, some relief off the frustrations that we have out there, and bringing in the understanding that it's not always just us that's causing all these unnecessary bad shots, but our equipment is not up to standard, and that we could be less frustrated. So people want to come for a fitting with you guys, they just call you guys, right?
Yeah, phone, email, go onto our website, whatever works for you. We're always available. We want to hear from you, and we want to help. And it's a great pleasure being here. And yeah, we just look forward to helping more golfers play the game better and get the most out of it.
Fantastic. Okay, well, that's a wrap. Like I said, thank you so much to all the viewers for watching. Join us again next week. We'll be chatting again with one of the specialists at Golf Science, one of the fitters, as we continue our series on golf fitment. And yeah, keep on keeping on and keep on swinging, and don't quit and don't give up. And the guys are out there to help you and to maximize our game. And until next time, keep practicing. Enjoy your time on the course. Thanks, Warren. Enjoy the rest of your time.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.